All right, what up, people? It's your boy Chig from Green Eagle Eye, coming to you again with a brand new video. You should know what we do by now. This is the player ratings video for that atrocious, utter shambles of a game, Liverpool versus Arsenal, where Arsenal got beaten 5-1 at Anfield. This we're going to talk a little bit. Obviously, we're going to give marks out of 10 for all of the players who featured on the Arsenal side yesterday. But obviously, I've not had an opportunity to talk about the game with these three wonderful gentlemen that have joined me today. So first off, let me introduce Ola. Say hello to the people, Ola.
Yeah, what's happening, people? As you can
Explain why you're
see,
off camera.
I'm off camera. I'm off camera today. I've just been bogged down with flu and cold and it's something I've been battling it for a couple of days. Hopefully, I'll be able to shake it off and get back to my full self. But I'm never too ill to do a show for you guys, especially on Chig's platform. It's a place
There
to
you
be.
go.
You feel me?
Thank you, Ola. Appreciate it, brother.
Nah, man, you're
And
welcome, man.
also joining me is Lewis. Say hello to the people, Lewis.
Yes, people, this is Lewis. What you saying? Looking forward to this one. Actually, it's going to be a fun show. So, stay tuned.
This is true. And if you thought Lee was bad at triggering people, you ain't seen nothing yet. Especially if you're a newer subscriber. Older subscribers will know what the fuck I'm talking about. Sam, say hello to the people, brother. Welcome back.
Yeah, thank you very much, Shig. Thanks very much. Good to be back, people. Good to be back. That's all I'm saying for now.
Oh, they're gonna so hate you by the end of the show. Right, so let's get into it today. Sam, as you've not been on the show a while, I know you want to go in. So talk to me. You watched yesterday's match. What was going through your mind?
Well, I was quite confident yesterday, to be honest with you. I thought we might pull something out of the bag. We've played quite well against sort of the bigger teams, apart from the first two games. I was quite confident. And then it just all sort of fell apart, really, within 15, 20 minutes of, after his scoring, within 15, 20 minutes after that, it just sort of all fell to pieces, really. It was really, really poor defending. It reminded me of going back to our previous manager, who I will refuse to say our previous manager's name for obvious reasons, but it just reminded me of a typical sort of him performance. Players looked tired, they looked out of place, they just didn't look like they had any direction. I think Ola said something 5-10 minutes ago. I think they just looked like they'd given up. It was really, really poor, and I was well disappointed with yesterday. I really, really was. I thought we could have gone up there with maybe a bit of a. It's all well in hindsight to say now, but maybe with a different formation, with different players starting. I was just really, really disappointed with yesterday, and I thought they were there for the taking yesterday. I really did. I looked at their team, and yes, they've got three attacking players at top, but so did we. I thought, we can go toe to toe with these, but we just made too many mistakes, too many poor performances, and yeah, I think yesterday exposed a lot of the players for really for where we actually are, as a club trying to move forward from, as I said before, previous manager.
Yeah, I think well said. I think that was the thing that, for me, particularly shocked me because us losing to Liverpool is kind of like, all right, it figures. I think myself and you, Ola, have said it with Lee a few times this season already about how we're not we're not competing for the same thing, us and Liverpool, because Liverpool are just that much better than us at the moment. But it was just, sometimes it's just the way you lose. And it was an utter shambles. Honestly, I'm not seeing such an embarrassing display of defense like that in some time from us.
Yeah.
What did you think watching the game yesterday?
You're not wrong. I mean, the way we defended yesterday, it was just ridiculous, and it's been a recurring theme over the last maybe 5-6 games. I'd even go as far to say all season, even in the games where we're winning when we had that long run. So it's been something that's been ongoing for a few months now, and Emery is trying to find ways to sort it out. And every time I know, look, we've had this discussion where people's trying to use injuries as an excuse, which I've been one of those. But that was when the injury was fresh. But even before we got injured, I mean, the guys that were playing, we were still conceding goals, and them goals were silly. And I go all the way back to say the United game. We go 1-0 up, and 30 seconds later, we're conceding goals. And then we go 2-1 up, and then few seconds later, we're conceding goals. The same happened at Southampton. Same thing. We score and we concede almost straight away. And we're not just conceding to like hard end chances that they've actually worked
It's all
so
been
hard for.
easy.
Yeah.
It's
Way
it's
too
some
easy.
easy chances. I mean,
Mm.
it's like our defense is. I'm not just gonna put this on the defense as well. I'm gonna some of this is gonna go on the midfield, right? And it's like they're just there, just watching this happen. And it's tough for Emery at the moment because he had 50 million going into the summer, right? But at the same time, you think to yourself, okay, Emery had 50 million, but he's still got one or two guys that should be able to command and organize the centre back. And there's a lot of communication problems going. There's a lot of match sharpness going on, lack of match sharpness. And on top of that, we lack quality in defense. And I can't say they don't have coaching because we've got Bodie there that seems to have found his voice because he's always in conversation with Juan Carlos and Emery on the touchline. This is something he never did with I nearly said it there. I ain't donating a pound to Luna.
I think you
I nearly
should,
got caught
if you
sleeping.
say a
I
W,
nearly got
then
caught
you should
sleeping,
be.
man. Bro, I nearly got caught sleeping. But
There's
bold,
a rule on the show. If you say
Right,
it,
you nearly done what our defense do on a
donate a
weekly
pound.
basis,
I nearly
man.
got
Give
caught
it
sleeping,
away.
man.
Yeah.
I recovered it like Boss Yelny.
Oh boy.
So, you see him always chewing his gum on the sideline under the previous regime, and we just a shambles in defense at the moment, and it's gonna take a while. But at the same time, everybody I know, nobody wants to give come down on Emery, and I'm not one of those neither. But at the same time, I don't think it's above questioning some of his decisions because people don't want to question him because we like him and we've warmed up to him and he's shown us a few good stuff and nobody wants to question. But I think he's open to questioning. I think he's open to criticism as well, but don't go over the top with it. Be constructive with it. Be objective with it, and that's how I think the fan base should go. But yesterday there was a meltdown on Twitter, social media. It's just embarrassing, man.
Hmm.
Can I just jump in there quickly, Chig? Just wanted to go over like what Ollie was saying. Do you know what I think? Will become.
Reacted is as embarrassing as
Okay. Sorry. Go on, Sam.
Yeah, I was just going to jump in what Ollie was saying. He's made some fantastic points. Do you know what I think? It all sort of alludes to a little bit as well. I think it's a lack of leadership. To be honest with you, like he was saying, we do concede soft goals after we've scored, or we're not. I don't think we don't seem to be set back. We've just scored. We've got a bit of a emotional high, and there's no one in there saying, right, let's steady this ship. Let's calm down for 5 minutes. Get the ball back under control. Let's make a few passes to try and keep the ball. We just seem to our heads just seem to go, and there's no one at the back taking control. And yesterday was a massive example of that because Ramsey was given the captaincy for the game. Koscielny came on at half time. He was given the captaincy back when he came on after half time. Granit Xhaka's on the pitch He started. He normally starts every game. Why wasn't he given the captaincy? I think there should be one club captain, and there should be one or two vice captains, and that is it. And then when your captain isn't playing, you obviously know your captain's going to play, 50 games, 55 games, and then your other two might be a midfielder or a striker or whoever. I think we've still got leadership issues within the side, and I think that was a massive show yesterday. That even after we conceded the first, we didn't, smash the ball out, or it was given away poorly, really, by Torreira, and there was no leadership in there to say, "Come on, lads, let's get the ball back under control. Let's slow the game down a bit. We've just scored. We're 1-0 up at Anfield. We've got to try and kill a bit of the play, because all they wanted to do was smash it forward, get forward. Because we looked quite good before they could score yesterday. I thought a goal was coming, then obviously we scored. But yeah, leadership issues still what haven't been addressed is a massive thing.
100%, and also the mixed messages from the captains that we are selecting. Because one minute Ozil's left out the team, fine, all right, I can understand that. Then as soon as he gets back into the team, he's given the captain's armband. Ramsey's been made that Ramsey's not part of the club, but then suddenly yesterday Ramsey was captain. It's like,
what's going on here, man? It's too confusing, and I'm looking to the likes of Lichtsteiner, Socrates, Mustafi. All those players there in that back line are the most experienced ones, and they're the ones that keep making the mistakes. More Mustafi and Lichtsteiner. He's actually been the worst player in the last couple of weeks, but only because I wasn't expecting him to play as many games as he has, and he's played a lot of games in close succession, and I think it's starting to tell with his legs now. His legs are absolutely gone, and it does have an effect on you when you're playing. Mentally he's probably already up and out, but his body's just given up on him, and it just frustrates me that we've got all this abundance of experience, and it was the youngsters that decided to try and do something about the game.
Fearless. That's what
I think you're spot on. I think you're absolutely spot on. Lewis, and you know what, and Ola actually, because I've not had your take on it as well. I'm going to start with Sam because I've got a feeling this one's going to be the controversial one. Mesut was absent yesterday. Yeah. Now I know, based on last season, you have not been a biggest fan of Mesut Ozil.
No.
What do you think of the boss's decision to leave out Mesut Ozil so far this season?
I think it's been the correct decision, to be honest with you. I think new manager comes in. As far as I was concerned, when I played football, I wish I was young enough to play football now. But when a new manager came in, everyone was given a clean slate. Whether you were the club captain, whether you were the best player, whether you were the worst player, everyone got a clean slate. And I was hoping that his attitude would change. He wouldn't have as many days sick off. I watched an interview with Aaron Ramsey. I think he said the other day, "Who's the teacher's pet?" Do you remember when Sky Sports did the what do they do? Like the players, who's your teacher's pet? Who's the most skillful, worst dressed, all that?
Yeah.
Teacher's pet was Mesut Ozil, and he said he's always in the manager's office asking for time off. Like that was just a ridiculous. That was a ridiculous statement for a professional footballer to say anyway. So I was hoping that he'd change. And when they went on tour, I think Gazidis was still here, and the manager was saying, "Oh, he's fantastic. He's going to be the player that we're going to build around." I was hoping all this, positivity towards him. He would be thinking, "Oh, I'm going to be the main man here," and I just don't. I think the Premier League is too quick for him as a league. I think it's too fast. I think he needs a slower league. I think when he gets pressed and he doesn't have enough time on the ball, I think he's not good enough. We bought him to be the difference between us and Champions League quarterfinals, etc., or the top four. We bought him. That player we spent £350,000 a week on. Money is irrelevant, but you've got to put that into the equation, because you've got to look at every single item when you're judging someone. He's on the most money in the club. Does he warrant it? Absolutely not. Does he perform week in, week out? Absolutely not. He's nowhere near consistent. His head goes down. He doesn't work. He doesn't work hard enough. he doesn't score enough goals. You know, people can say, "Oh yeah, but he's assist this, pre-assist." Like it's a load of bollocks. I have to agree with one of your other the guys who come on the show, Lee. This assist thing is a load of bollocks. I don't like it at all. Yeah, it's the way that the football goes now. I get that. It's it's a big stat, blah blah blah, but that doesn't tell a true reflection. Like you said, corners are assist if you score from a corner. But honestly, I think he's got to go. If I'm honest, and it's causing a massive thing between the fans, just like our previous manager did, and a lot of the people who wanted our previous manager go want him to go. And I think the sooner we get the people out who don't want to be here or are not working or don't fit into the current manager's sort of way of playing, the better. But my old saying is, when talent doesn't work hard, hard work beats talent. And that is the most true saying for that guy ever. He's a brilliant footballer, but he's just not willing to put it in. So, he's got to go.
Yeah, I 100% agree with everything you're saying. I think the man has all the God-given talent in the world. My issue is he doesn't display it enough. And I think when you need to defend a player with stats, there's a problem. If graphs and stats and pie charts are the way you want to defend a player, rather than what you see with your own eyes, there's a problem. I'm sorry, there's just a problem.
I think it helps. I think it helps. It does go towards, if you're going to buy a player, you do look at his stats and you do see him play. I think, like I said, I think it's a bit of everything. You look at how much a player wants. You look at how much you're going to buy him for. You look at his qualities. You look at his things maybe he's not so good at. I think it's not just one thing. It's not just he's fucking 500 assists every single season. I think it's everything. You have to look at absolutely everything. It's like buying a car. You don't just buy a car because of the badge.
Yeah, 100%. 100% agree with you.
How much fuel you use.
Some people buy a car just because of the badge, brother.
That is very true.
Go ask people that buy Mercedes and shit.
I wouldn't buy
I wouldn't either, I must admit. But I will say this, you're absolutely correct. But when it's on a weekly basis, that people are running stats in your face saying, well, Mesut Ozil runs this much around the pitch. So, I can run around the pitch. If I'm nowhere near a ball, what does that tell you? It doesn't tell you anything.
A lot of the time, right? Sorry to cut in. A lot of the time, them, the mileage per game or kilometers per game stat. A lot of the time, these footballers are just walking. There's like a few steps here, a few steps there. So, it'd be interesting to see the stats on the runs that he makes to affect the game.
Yeah,
that would be more of a true reflection rather than he runs 11 kilometers per game. How many of those 11 kilometers are actually effective running for the team?
I would say I'd say 11. If he's doing 11, not saying he is, but I'd say 11 kilometers is about bang average. That'd be. I'd say most players would be running 11. I say your central midfielders and your wingers might do a bit more, but if you're running left to right, that's not the same distance as if you're going up and down the pitch, is it? If you're a right wing back, you're going to run more than a player who's just going to do like left to right sort of thing or in the middle. I totally agree with you, Lewis. I think that's a load of shit. He doesn't affect the game as much as he should. He just doesn't. He's just not the player that we bought. We thought we were buying like the all singing, all dancing Mercedes Benz, and he's more of a fucking Volkswagen, isn't he? It's true.
Don't knock the Volkswagen, man.
It depends on what Volkswagen you're going for.
He's an above average player, but he's not world class. He's not average. He does do brilliant things now and again, but it's not consistent enough. Nowhere near what we need.
I think for me, on this Ozil thing, he has the talent. There's no question about that. For me, he hasn't adapted to the manager's tactics. That's what's worrying me the most about it. If you're that type of player and you're this world-class player, you should be able to adapt to any situation, and he don't do that. That is why Emery don't rate him.
Listen, to me, this is what Ozil is to me in very, very simple layman terms. You go to a club, you see the nicest looking thing in the club, and she wants you to buy her Ciroc. She wants you to buy her the Dom Perignon. And when it comes to laying down the thing, she don't want to work for it. But she wants all the expensive thing. And that's how Ozil is in the team. He's getting this big amount of money week in, week out. To me, doesn't justify it. And when it comes to time when you're supposed to roll your sleeve up and mock him with the rest of the team, you're a passenger. You don't put in 100%. You're looking for fouls that's never gonna come. And then it's through those fouls that we get them transitions where teams go and score on us. And it's a recurring thing. It doesn't work.
Totally. He gave up on that. It was the dude we played before Liverpool? When was he captain? Who was that again?
Burnley.
He was giving up, mate. When he was running, he was like expected to, like, someone would play a 5-yard pass in behind a defender, and he wouldn't chase after it and like just try and get there, do something. You never know that if you might put some pressure on the defender, then he might fall over the ball and you might win it back. He was literally giving up. He wasn't doing anything to justify the captaincy. Look at our captains over the years. It's been a fucking disgrace. He's got that. I really think that he is a captain of Arsenal Football Club. It's fucking disgusting. Like Adams, Vieira, Henry to a certain extent, like all those players, it's mental that he's been given that armband, mate. If I had the 10th of the ability of that man, like it'd be unbelievable because I would work so hard.
But
it's just shit.
The funny thing is, I read a story today about how someone, I think he was in the Sunday Supplement, one of the writers in the Sunday Supplement says that Emery has no actual personal issue with Ozil. He just believes that he just doesn't like to play Ozil away against the top teams. He just feels that, much like you alluded to earlier, Sam, about he'd prefer to have people who are going to work hard and run hard away from home, especially, than Mesut Ozil, who's a bit more of a luxury type of pleasure that you can't necessarily afford away from home. And that's all it is. He doesn't have any actual issue with Ozil. Apparently he rates him highly. It's just he genuinely feels it's a tactical decision to leave him out of the team altogether. Which, if that's the case, flipping heck. I mean, to me, I think that's quite damning, that he believes that you're talented, you just don't work hard.
But then, for me, you can't have a player like that can only play half a season. There's no point.
Yeah.
There is no point.
It'd be different, I think, Lewis. I think you're right, 100%. I think it'd be different, and people would have him if he was on 100 grand a week. I think the problem for most people is if you're playing superstar money, and that is, that's Messi, Ronaldo, Aguero, that's superstar money. If you're paying superstar money, you want week in, week out consistency, goals, assists, and it doesn't provide it. I think there'd be a massive change on him if he was on 100 grand a week. I think people would be happy to get 20 games a season out of him, 25 games. No one would give the two shits.
Do you see him going in January, boys?
I think if there's a way we could force him out, because look, this is the type of player that is putting work to actually get this contract. Is putting so much work to mug off the club, to mug off the board into giving him 350 grand. Now he's got 4-year contract. He doesn't have to go anywhere. He would say, I'm staying here in London. Stick me in the reserves, and I'm going to get my 350 grand a week, because I know I'm not getting that anywhere else. He doesn't have to go. We are stuck with this guy. The only way we're going to be able to move him on is pay some of them wages.
It's his pension package. That's what it is.
Exactly.
Sorry, Ola, I don't mean to cut you off rudely.
Go on.
But when you look at the time of the contract extension, right? We was in 6s and 7s. We didn't know whether the previous manager was going to stay. We had Sanchez throwing a strop, and then we had Ozil holding the club to ransom, all at the same time. And it was a good thing that we got Aubameyang when we did, because it did one of two things. It got rid of stroppy Sanchez, who, in hindsight, I'd rather have kept over Ozil, in my opinion. I'd rather have kept him because he works for the team.
Yeah.
And we've actually missed that type of work rate out wide left. But now Ozil's got this contract. It's like, yeah, I'm sort of here. I'm just here for the appearance bonus, and that's it. The sooner he goes and takes all these fanboys with him, the better, because they are all making our club look like a laughing stock right about now, and it is pissing me off to high heaven when they're saying, but we missed Ozil. I don't care if Ozil was there or not yesterday. Like, sorry to say it, but I don't think we would have won the game with him in the team. And that's my honest opinion. We wouldn't have won the game at all.
Do you think, though, Lewis, that at some point the club actually offered Sanchez Ozil's money first?
I believe they did. I believe they did 100%. I believe it 100%.
There's nothing we could have done to keep hold of him then.
Because if City and Man United weren't flirting around and he wasn't, because he was on form the season before, and he was floating in and out of games, he was showing his frustration. I think if he was a bit higher up in the league, competing for top 4 properly, I think Sanchez would have stayed and Ozil would have gone.
I think it was one or the other.
Yeah, me too.
I think we couldn't have kept both. I think the fact of the matter is, just look at what you just said, Lewis. Man City and Man United were both sniffing round Alexis Sanchez. If Man City and Man United were both sniffing round Ozil and not Sanchez, I think it'd have been the other way around. I think Ozil would have gone and would have kept Sanchez. I think Ozil had a gun to our head. We couldn't lose another player of that sort of level. And we just did anything that he wanted. If he'd have said, fucking, I want, rose petals being thrown in front of me when I walk through fucking the Emirates, I think we'd have done it. I think the manager and the CEO at the time, I think we're naive, because the fans would have been absolutely...
Oh, yeah, it was daylight robbery. It was daylight robbery. Absolutely.
They just done us, mate. He done us, and terribly.
We got
mugged
off.
One or the other. Yeah.
And now you're seeing Ramsey trying to mug us off too, but with Sven and Raul there, they're like, nah, mate, you're not pulling the wall out over it.
That's what me and Lee were saying earlier in the season. We felt like Ramsey saw the Ozil situation. So you know what? I'll do that with my agent. Tried to play the game. Unfortunately for him, it was too late. The game was up. Raul and Sven are like, nah, we're not giving you this kind of money. You must be joking. And the game's up. So now he's trying to find himself another club.
Yeah, again, we'll come on to Ramsey in a bit, but he wants the top dollar. He didn't play like a top dollar player yesterday, did he?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Well, I mean, if that's I'll tell you what, let's go into the player ratings yesterday.
So let's do what we're actually here to do.
Well, Ola, you was taking up the time still.
Yeah.
All right, then, Ola.
Stick it on me, man. I got brought you
with Leno yesterday.
Let's do it.
How do you believe that he performed yesterday? We'll see if we agree with your mark.
Who's that to me?
Yeah, it's to you.
Leno, I have to give him a free, man. I mean, the only goal that I couldn't really blame him for was the first one with the ricochet. The penalties, he got a touch to one of them, but like, where are you going? Just wait. Try and hold on.
I'm gonna just stop you, yeah.
No, hold on.
When it's a penalty, yeah, the favour is in the penalty taker. So
yeah, it's a lottery.
Come on, bro.
Right? It's a lottery. I'm just saying he got a hand to one of them, and maybe if he had just delayed they move a little bit.
Do you know how? Did you see how much power he put into the penalty? You put up your hand and see if you're stopping that with your wrist. You ain't stopping that.
I don't get paid what he gets paid every week. It's his job to catch them things. You understand?
You are so harsh. You are so harsh.
That's his job. He's getting it free,
you are
man.
so harsh.
He's
You're
on
so
the free
harsh
today, blood. He's getting it free, man. I ain't even lying. Any keeper that concedes 5 goals in one game.
5 goals.
Five goals in one game. You're not getting no more than
I'm sorry, man.
From me,
No.
5 goals in one game. I don't care how you justify that. You ain't getting no more than a 3.
I'll tell you how I justified it in 1 sec, yeah? I'll tell you 1 sec.
Claude in the chat room would have given Leno a 2.
Me and Claude have run-ins about that all the time, man. All the time, yeah? But for me,
go on, Claude.
Your keeper is only as good as your defence. Look at David De Gea.
Oh, yeah, but that's why he got it free. I mean, some of them defends them. I only get a 1 if one of them comes out to me. You know what I mean?
What about you, Sam? What do you think about Leno?
I'd give him a 5, to be honest. I think the 2 penalties you can't do anything about. I think the deflective shot he couldn't do nothing about. I think if you look at take out his goals, take out the goals he's conceded. His kicking was all right. His distribution was all right. His catching and his punching were not too bad. I think he made a couple of decent saves. You can't give it. I was thinking about giving him a 6, but.
He still considered 5 goals.
Yeah, that's why I gave him a 5.
But they weren't goals due to his mistakes, Ola. They were not his mistakes.
Look, all of this stuff about being nice to the goalkeeper is part of the fucking defense. Man your defense in front of you. You got to man the people in front of you as well. If you want to be a top goalie,
when the defense is parting like the Red Sea,
people in front of you, you've got to be able to do that.
You've got a defense that gets parted like Moses in the Red Sea. There's nothing you can do.
Well, that's why he got a free. That's why he got a free
Jesus
from me.
Christ, man.
That's why he got a free. Nice,
there weren't goals where
he's
made an individual error. Yeah, they're errors that have come from the men in front of him. Come on now, Ola. 2 penalties, man. What
anyway.
you?
But 2 penalties and a deflected shot.
To be fair,
you can't do nothing about that.
To be fair, also another shout out to Lee in the chat room. He reckons everyone should get 0 apart from
my guy. I mean, this guy.
Lee wants Rolls Royce every game though, doesn't he? He's never happy, that kid.
And if it ain't Rolls Royce, he's telling them suck your mother.
I'll bite your nose off him, say to them.
Well, I personally I kind of see what Sam is saying and what Lewis is saying. I'd probably give a 4 because I do ultimately
see how you just sat right on the fence.
Yeah,
there.
I was sitting right on the fence, splinters up the arse and everything. Right? I do think that second goal, communication at the very least was poor between Leno and the defense, and he did concede 5 goals. But other than that, I do agree. Ultimately, it's 2 penalties, and the other 2 goals I thought were just well taken goals, helped by a useless defense.
All right. We'll go with your 4. We'll go with your 4.
The defense is getting killed tonight, boy.
General Santa Claus, man. This is part of the problem with. This is part of the problem we have at the defense. You lot as generous as Santa Claus out here. Giving out points and everything.
Oh man, no, I sympathize with Leno, man, because everything other than the goals that he conceded, and there was a bit of nervy moments in like the first sort of 10 minutes with his kicking. Other than that, he did everything a goalkeeper's meant to do. Everything that he saved after that.
Apart from save 5 goals into our net.
You can't. Ola, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna stick you in goal. Yeah, and I'm gonna fire a penalty at you.
Yeah,
as soon as you save it. Yeah.
As soon as you pay me 100 grand.
No, 100 grand. A bottle of Oak Heart. Yeah. We'll share a bottle of Oak Heart afterwards, right? And I'm gonna smash 5 penalties at you and see how many you save.
Yeah,
because I guarantee you're not saving them.
Rum, man. I'm a sucker for a bottle of rum. I'll go with that.
All right. Let's move on to Lichtsteiner.
Oi.
What should we deserve?
Oi.
Listen, Hank. Okay.
Blood.
For me, one. And that's
Boy.
only because he turned up. Just because he made the trip to Liverpool. One. Easily his poorest game.
Can
Easily.
I?
He wasn't even close.
Santa to Grinch is 60 seconds, yeah. You transformed quickly, didn't you?
One.
I was actually hoping we'd start from the left back and then go to the right back.
I mean,
Jesus.
Lichtsteiner, yeah. I mean, he had a horrible day yesterday, man. You know what? I would just leave his ass in the dressing room, let him do all the motivational talk. I mean, he probably is good for that. It's probably good for that stuff. But
I think he'd be good for behind the scenes. I think he's good for Bellerin because we've seen a different player in Hector this season. But playing wise, no. There's a reason why they didn't give him a contract. Like, and I did say this when we initially signed him, and I remember people piled onto me saying, "Oh well, you know, he's a great signing. He's a clever." All right, motherfuckers. All right, let's see. If you doubt me, go and watch my Welcome to Lichtsteiner video. I will look at all the fucking comments that were on there. And I thought, fucking hell, I thought I'd stabbed somebody's door the way people were piling on. I thought, all right, no problem. Let's see. Let's see. And it was unbelievable.
I'll go along with your one. I think one is a fair score for his contributions yesterday, which there was no contributions. So yeah, I'll go along with that one you put down. Still, I'll go along with that one.
I know Colin and Claude have gone with zeros. So how about
Bro, they're still kind, man. They're still too kind to Lichtsteiner. I'm giving him a -10.
What?
-10.
Do you know how hard it is to defend Lewis? Let me put you in right back, and
I used to play.
Coming at you.
Listen, Ola, let me tell you, yeah.
You were just defending Leno for the same reasons, yeah. Let
What?
me put you in front of Mane. And
Do
Salah,
it, fam.
and let
Do
them
it.
Twist you
Do it. I love
tricky.
I love playing against tricky wingers like that. Yeah, bring it on. Bring it on. Let me fix up my knee first, but still, no. I'm only joking with the -10, but he gets a 0 just for the fact that he has this wealth of experience in his position, and he was the weakest link in that back line. That second, the goal that came from their corner after we cleared it, I'm looking along the line. I'm thinking, Lichtsteiner, why are you so deep? Like, you should not be that deep, and you should not be that close to your centre halves, because not once did he look to see if anybody was on his right hand side. Not once. Not once. I mean, he got terrorized by bloody Mane. The sooner he goes, the better.
Before I ask Sam, just to let Ola call me a Grinch. So far, I'm the only one from one. And literally, Lee goes 0. Claude says he should have been left right back in the changing room. Everybody in the chat room is saying 0, 0, 0. Sam, be the kind one. What does he deserve out of 10?
I've wrote down 1, and you get a 1 for turning up, putting your kit on, and getting onto the pitch.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I went with.
So I've got he's getting a 1. I thought yesterday. My key word is he's finished. I think yesterday was the pace of the game was the Mane was just too quick for him. I think the pace is way too much for him. Like Lewis said, definitely the weakest link. On that goal where they smashed it across the box, he wasn't looking to see where his man was. He was completely oblivious, and he was definitely targeted yesterday for his pace. He was probably brought in to play maybe 10 games over the season, but to be that,
he's done that already.
That mentality in the changing room of the winning mentality and the preparation and how you handle yourself and sort of that side of the football, not to play away to Liverpool in a game that we really needed to win. I think he was he's out of his depth, mate. We can all see that, I think, and I think now don't think we'll be offering him another contract next year. That's for sure.
Honestly, and Claude has just brought this up in the changing room, in the changing room.
Yeah.
That's where Claude needs to be. In the fucking changing room with them fucking lazy bastards.
I'd play Jenkinson every time over Lichtsteiner.
I'd give Jenkinson a chance. If man like Ozil are getting a chance in the team, why not him? What is he actually?
Yeah.
I know Lee's cussing me right now, and I can feel it. I know Lee's cussing me because the way he talks about Jenkinson.
I guarantee Lee would pick Jenkinson over him. He hasn't even said anything yet, and I guarantee he would say, you know what, fuck that, Jenkinson over Lichtsteiner. If there's he'll say both of them are shit, but out of the two, he'd play Jenkinson. I guarantee.
At least Jenkinson's position is right back. Like he knows it. That's where he's most comfortable.
Yeah, exactly. And he's not played that badly this season, to be fair.
Apart from centre back, don't put him at centre back.
Should we be recalling Callum Chambers home?
No.
With all this madness we got going on in defence.
No,
we got no fit players.
No.
He's just on that. He's been playing really well at defensive midfield, since.
This is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm thinking. What he's been doing under Ranieri in defensive midfield, he's made them look more solid than. I mean, he looked nice.
By the way,
decent.
Just to prove my point, Lee said yes, he would pick Carl Jenkinson over Lichtsteiner.
And pay his wages for the week.
Oh shit! All right, let's move on. Mustafi, Squadron Mustafi, my boy, Squadron Mustafi. What would he get?
Mustafi just came back from injury. All right. I wouldn't kill him too much. I'll give him a 4. I think and that's just because he just come back because it takes a while to get that match sharpness going. So that's the only reason he's getting the 4. He did one or two things, all right, but he's still at fault for a couple of the goals.
Santa Claus Ola is all I'm gonna say.
I mean, it was still a fault for. But the only reason I'm not murdering him, and that's the only reason why I was fair to Koscielny the last time when he came back for the first time. And we lost because of him in the center of the defense. But I can see all these injuries forced the manager's hands to keep rushing the players back. And, Mustafi wouldn't have wanted to come back into a game like Anfield.
That.
Exactly. Not in that way. We're very, very informed front three, to play against. So, that's probably it's the only reason I I'll go down to a 3. I'll go down to a 3, man. I think I'll go down to a 3. I overrule myself.
You know what?
I'll go down to a 3. I've had one too many.
My man was shit yesterday.
I'll go down to a 3, man. Yeah, man. I'll go down to a 3.
You read my mind.
It was a mess. Read my mind. What did you give Leno? 3?
Yeah, what did you give Leno?
A 3.
Yeah.
Oh, you gave Leno a 3 as well?
Yeah. You're consistent. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'll go down to a 3, man.
Yeah. No.
How about yourself, Lewis?
I call Mustafi Mr. Horizontal because he never stays on his feet. He's always sliding in, diving in. And I'm like, hold on a minute. This man's a World Cup winner. And he don't play like he's a World Cup winner at all. We got absolutely robbed by Valencia of £35 million. I'm sorry. But I will say he's slightly improved this season. And like Ola says, he's just got coming back from injury. So that sharpness isn't quite there. But would you take a fully fit Mustafi? I don't know, man. I don't think a fully fit Mustafi would have done much.
By default, he's probably our second best centre back.
Yeah. That's how bad we are at centre back.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give him like a 3 because, to be fair, he should be. I just don't understand how he thinks that his way of defending is good. Like I don't know how
Mustafi thinks defending is DMs and he just likes to slide in. That's the problem with fucking Mustafi. He sees defending as yeah, all right. You're not playing in defensive midfield, but you're seeing it as direct messages into somebody's Instagram. You can't be fucking sliding into people's DMs like that, Mustafi. Yeah, it's fucking. It's a
Mr.
game of
Horizontal,
football.
innit?
You can't,
Mr. Horizontal.
I don't know. I don't know what is for. Sometimes you think, why is he doing? I've said to you, I've tried to get people to pray for him all manner of religions to try and pray for this guy. The last one I ended up with were the Rastafarians, and it's not working. You know what I mean?
Rastafari.
They've been praying to Jah to try and save him.
I don't think Jar's in a good mood, boy.
They're not in a good mood for him. I'm telling you, it's madness.
What do you think Mustafi deserves?
I thought he was shite yesterday. I'd give him a 1. I did. Honestly. I thought he was poor. I know he's not 100%.
Do you take into account his mitigating circumstances?
Yes,
because he wasn't fit and he was rushed back.
But still, on the day, if he's not 100% ready, like the manager, why is he play? If he's not 100% ready, then he should be playing, mate. In a game like that, you need to be at 95, 90% absolute worst. I think he was probably at about 75. He didn't look 100% fit at all. He was like Lewis said, he was going down to ground, which he fucking loves to do. It was ridiculous. He doesn't never stay on his feet. I thought he was really poor. Like, there's a short clip I saw on Twitter earlier of Fabinho sort of like weaving his fucking way through like the defence, and he just sort of like doesn't go near him. He just sort of falls back, and I'm just like, fuck, mate, why are you defending like that? That's poor. Like, someone should have just take him out and get a yellow card on the edge of the box.
It's gonna be so difficult offloading some of these players, because selling players like Mustafi and selling players like Mustafi to other clubs, it's like selling a car with a blown head gasket, but trying to hide it and let them trying to hide it and say, it's a nice running vehicle. You know what I mean? But it's sold as sin. Once you've bought it, you can't get no fucking refund. You know, this law will be ringing to say, give me back my money. You can have your fucking player back. Because I don't know how we're going to get rid of some of these players we got. Trust me, I don't know how we're going to do it.
I think the frustrating thing is, for most of us, is on their day, they're actually quite good footballers. Mustafi on his day ain't too bad, is he? But he's just not consistent enough for us to make us all feel, we're
comfortable and happy.
He can stay. We like him to stay. He's a fan favourite, or fucking hell, he does some stupid things, but then he has 10 brilliant games. He's so up and down. I just think him next to Virgil van Dijk, or next to another brilliant centre back, a real quality centre back, would probably be fucking brilliant. Let's not forget he won the World Cup with Boateng, Philip Lahm next to him. He won the World Cup with real winners, real leaders, real good football players. He's got fucking Lichtsteiner next to him and Koscielny on the other. You ain't going to be brilliant if you've got shit next to you, are you?
Yeah. I mean, you say about players being on their day, but like,
has he ever been on his day?
It's about being consistent, isn't it? Every game should be your fucking day, because you wouldn't want to miss your fucking your paycheck, because the board should say, maybe on your day we'll just pay your full wages. Yeah, how about that? Every match there will be your fucking day, wouldn't it?
That's mentality, though, isn't it? That's mentality. That's winning attitude. That's determination to be the best. He's obviously not got it in him to want to be the best defender and want to win every single game. You've got so much, I suppose when you're a millionaire and you've got nothing to prove to anyone, you take your foot off the gas, don't you?
Yeah. Or he's just not good enough.
He isn't.
I've always said about him, for me, and this is where, even me and Colin have had falling outs over Mustafi. I just don't think the kid is good enough. I don't have anything against him. I don't see anything there that makes me feel reassured that he's of a decent quality. I'll accept he's fucked up less this year. That's like me saying, oh, well, I got chlamydia instead of HIV. You know?
Can't catch it twice, Jiggy.
Wow.
You ain't selling this right.
Are you sure? Are you sure this isn't a Mike podcast in disguise, man? Because he loves talking about stuff like that.
Mike will be proud of us right now. He'll be proud
I
of us.
know.
Oh, shit. Anyway, moving on. I forgot my mum listens to this.
Hi, Mum.
You alright, mums?
Hi, Mum.
Sorry, Mum. Sorry. I know I'm going to hear about this later. Who's playing next to Mustafi?
Kalaznic. Oh, sorry.
Oh.
Bossione. No, he came up as
No, it was
Socrates.
Yeah, it was Socrates.
Socrates. Flipping heck. Is it amazing how I forgot the man even played yesterday? It's easily his worst game in an Arsenal shirt. And I love Socrates.
Mm-hmm.
My man looked lost. For me, 2 out of 10. Incidentally, Mustafi, I'd have given 1 out of 10 to. I thought it was terrible. It was terrible yesterday. But yeah, for me, Socrates, 2 out of 10. How about yourselves?
Socrates. That too. I don't know whether you've put into consideration that he dropped Salah in the box. I know Salah went down easily, but why are you marking him so tight?
Yeah, why are you giving the reason?
I'm trying to give the ref a reason. You know what? He gets a 1. He gets a 1, man. Because I mean, some of his defending yesterday as well. I was thinking to myself, come on, man. You've probably been the best of the worst player we've had in defense over the last few games. But he's still been conceding goals with him playing centre back. And yesterday was so. He had a really terrible game yesterday. He had
I have to say, in slight defense, not a major defense like OJ Simpson had, that tackle in the box after giving away a penalty was ballsy, man. Like, I rate that. Like, he plays one way no matter what. And he took the risk, and it was an absolutely beautiful tackle. I will give him just a half a point just for that tackle. But other than that, I'll give him like a 3.5 at best. That's really pushing it. Really pushing it.
Yeah, man. I'll stick with a 1, man. To me, I'll stick with the 1. I for 2.
Grinch.
Yeah, I'll stick with the 1. The defenders
Sam?
were shambolic.
It was shambolic, but I think he was on his own yesterday. I'd give him 4 or 5, mate.
What?
I thought
I want some of what you're drinking.
He was
man,
on his own.
my rum clearly at work. I want some of that shit you're drinking, man.
I thought he was on his own. I thought his couple of elastic challenges. He got he stuck his foot in now and again. He made a few clearances from what I can remember. I thought he was poor. Don't get me wrong. It's definitely his poorest game. But you've got Lichtsteiner and Mustafi next to you. You're not going to be brilliant. And I also think when he's in the centre of 2, if you like, so when he's in the centre of a 3, I think he plays poorly. Don't think it suits him. I think he likes to be the one who attacks the ball and gets stuck in and battles and fights. He's that type of player. I thought yesterday the penalty that he gave away was real weak play from him. I didn't like it. He should have known not to go near him in the box. He wasn't going nowhere, Salah, at the time. He should have just kept on his feet and have probably fucked it up. But I thought 4 or 5, he was probably the best defender that we had on the day.
Agreed.
Okay.
Agreed.
As Lee said in the chat room, our defense parted like Katie Price's legs. Definitely deserved a low mark. Kolasinac. Oh, shit. From playing so well at the Emirates against Liverpool this season, in fact, it was actually probably his best game this season, to the complete Jekyll and Hyde performance where he was just the complete opposite yesterday. For me, a 2, if that. What do you guys think?
I'll go with the if that.
I'll go with my mind for lower on him.
I'll go with the if that. I'm going with the if that. I'm going with the 1. He also considered the penalty yesterday.
Yeah. I mean,
barging the player, on his back. Like,
he
what
didn't
are you
barge
doing?
the player. He pushed like.
Well, whatever you're doing in the box, you've got to be mindful of these things, man.
He did the same against Burnley, though, didn't he? And got away with it. You remember?
Well, that was 2 hands.
I think that was in the ref's head. that he's got away with it last week. If he does it again this week, we're going to do him.
yeah.
I think that's exactly what it was.
Should they be meriting last week's game on this week's
no,
game?
It's imprinted, isn't it? It comes to the forefront of your mind as a referee.
Yeah.
You know, he got it, and to be fair, that was a stonewall penalty. That Burnley push. Yeah. And I look at this guy, right, and he's as wide as a tank. And I got taught one of these things, yeah. When a player is backing into you, use your chest. He's got one of the widest chests I've ever seen.
Yeah, and why is he using his hand?
Why? Yeah, if you use your chest and he goes down, the ref will look at it like, well, there's nothing much there. He hasn't actually, used two hands to push him.
Yeah.
It's just smart defending. That's what he needs to learn, smart defending. But because of that, he gets a 1. Because you can't. He didn't do anything in the game.
Okay, yeah.
He didn't do nothing in the game. He wasn't his usual self. It was his poorest game that he's had this season.
That's my score. So I'll go with you then, Lewis. I'll go with the 1, man.
Yeah, same. I looked at it and thought, what did he do?
It was poor, man.
What did he do? Nothing.
He didn't attack.
Yesterday. He didn't defend. He was poor.
Okay, how about Torreira? Yesterday. I was very disappointed with him yesterday, man. I thought that he'd been playing on it kind of with a handbrake on because I thought to myself, oh, okay, maybe he's worried about missing Liverpool. He'll put his full effort into this. But he actually gave the ball away. I think one of them actually led to one of their goals.
The Firmino goal. Oh, my days. Let me tell you, that ball goes into him 9 times out of 10, he finds the pass. But I just believe because he's come from a league, the Italian league, where you get a break and you come over here to England and you're playing a game every 3-4 days on the back end of December. I just think it was more tiredness than it was an actual error.
I was
if you know what I'm saying. It's not like a Xhaka error. It wasn't a Xhaka error. I just believe he's feeling the pace of the league now. He needs a rest.
Yeah, I thought I had a groin injury yesterday.
3 games, to be honest. I would. I'd leave him out because we can afford to leave him out against Fulham.
Can we? Can we really? Can we really? I don't think we can. Fulham are on the up now. Yeah, they won their last game and they're playing a lot better football than what they were at Craven Cottage when we played them. It's not going to be easy, that one.
The thing is, the way Torreira is playing, I wouldn't mind playing Ainsley Maitland-Niles there. The way Torreira is playing at the moment, rest him. For me, I'd say I'd give Torreira 2, only because I still like the fact that he has a lot of energy. I do agree with you guys. I think he's knackered. The man is playing tired. And to me, I also just think he was one of the cogs on an altogether awful defensive performance. I wouldn't necessarily put the whole performance down to him, but he was culpable for one of the goals.
Oh, so there's no doubts about that. But the man tried to do something about the game, unlike his partner, which we'll go on to later on.
We'll come on to.
Yeah, I'll go 3 for Torreira. I thought he
You're harsh, Ola. No.
I'll go 3. I'll tell you why I'll go 3 for him.
What you're saying? He played as bad as Leno and Socrates.
Well, look, they were all responsible for they were all responsible for things that happened leading to the goals, and that's why they're getting freeze from me, because every one of them was responsible for direct goals.
Do you know what?
They were responsible for it. You can't
markings ever.
You can't. It's difficult to give them a blind on these things. You know what I mean?
No.
Because it's a player rating. I'm just trying to call it as I say it. I'm not trying to be harsh for no reason. It's just how I saw the game yesterday. The game was so disappointing, and I thought it was responsible for one of the goals. That was probably the most embarrassing goal that we consider the one he was responsible for. That was the most embarrassing one, and it's not just down to him, but it started with him, and then for Firmino to just walk right through. The
man was on a ski slope, boy.
It was sitting down. It was sitting everybody, and then on the back picture, I saw Torreira trying to do a breaststroke on the bloody pitch.
Nah, he slipped over. To be fair, Ola, the man was trying to get back.
I know he was trying to get back, and he probably would have
He's up on the man.
do
He's
a John Terry
22
with his
years
head to try
old.
and
He's
stop the ball.
22 years of age, yeah?
Yeah, look,
he's
if
still
you're
a
good
young
enough, look,
youth, man.
we weren't saying he was 22 years old when he was getting
I've been saying it all season,
well,
just
when
not as loud.
when he was getting man of the match player awards. We just saying Torreira is 5 foot high. I didn't even know he was 22 years old. I just knew it was
22.
I just knew it was 5 foot high. So
5'5", man. Jesus.
That one. So right. So yeah, I'll go with the 3, man.
I say Torreira again, 4 or 5 for me. I thought yesterday he was quality was quite poor from him. I definitely think he looks tired. But you know what it is with a play like that? Because he's so high intensity, he exasperates so much energy all the time. And if he's not 100%, I think it shows quite clearly. I think and I think yesterday he looked like that. And yeah, I was disappointed yesterday. But like you said, maybe it's time to give him a break. To be fair,
because I must admit you are absolutely spot on in what you just said, because people forget Sanchez had games like that, you know.
Yeah.
Terrible, and you're like, what the fuck is happening? And
then next game is brilliant.
Back and realize players like that, because they expend so much energy that unless they are at the very top level of their game, they're gonna have those performances every now and again.
I think,
and because Wenger was such a fan of playing Sanchez, no matter what, my man would be injured, Wenger will still pick him. Oh my gosh, I need to donate £2.
You took the words right out my mouth.
Lewis is absolutely bang on. You do forget, he's 22 years old. He's only a year older than Maitland-Niles. He's only a year older than that. He's still a young boy.
And he's got loads of development to come. He's still very, very, very raw. And I have very high hopes of Torreira if he keeps going the way he is.
If he could grow a couple more inches,
it doesn't just because it got like a 3 from me doesn't mean I don't rate him. I think
you're just being a Grinch, man. You're just being a Grinch. Christmas is long done, boy.
Because you're
this is about yesterday's performance.
It's just about yesterday's performance in isolation. That's just what I'm looking at, just in isolation of how he's performed yesterday.
But you're still being a Grinch, man.
Oh,
it's because you're ill. It's because you're ill, Ola. You're making it worse for you than normal.
All right, let's move on to Granit Xhaka. What do you believe he deserves, Lewis?
He don't get nothing from me. What did this man do? What did he do? A man that should be commanding Lucas Torreira went fucking missing. And excuse my language.
I saw people on Twitter defending Xhaka.
Oh my God, the man hid.
Xhaka was playing well yesterday as well. I'm like,
He was hiding. He did what Ozil does best. I don't remember the commentator saying his name once yesterday. Not once. That man he's a coward. He's a coward. He let the young man in the midfield, Ainsley, Iwobi, and Torreira, show him up. I'm sorry to say it, but that man, he really winds me up because he's like Mustafi. You get like 2 or 3 games where you're thinking, right, he's turning the corner, and then he'll have an absolute shocker. He had a shocker last night.
Yeah, agreed. I'd also go with 0, by the way. What do you think, Sam?
I'd put him down as a 3, to be honest. I think it's no coincidence that his midfield partner was not the best, and he also, that showed. I think Torreira carries a lot of what I'd call his bit more of a spatial awareness. So, like, he's always running about. Torreira is trying to cover where he can't because of his lack of pace from Xhaka. But I've been quite a big defender of Xhaka in the past, but yesterday I thought he was poor. You know, he's supposed to be one of our captains of the side, you know, one of the nominated 15,000 captains we've got.
Do you know what I mean? So
and dumb. I thought he acted like Lewis said, he acted like he was an Ozil yesterday. He did hardly anything to warrant being a captain of that football club. His discipline was shocking as well. When he fouled, got booked, and then got up and kicked the ball away, could have got sent off for that. I probably should have got sent off. it was really, really poor from him yesterday. I thought very, very disappointed with him, to be honest.
I think Lee said it best once about Xhaka. The man can only turn left. He can only turn left.
Yeah.
That reminds me,
That's part of the problem.
Torreira got caught on the ball yesterday.
Yeah.
Do you remember Everton last season? Away at Goodison Park. Exactly the same. Exactly the same, but going the other way, going to the right. And I was just like, is that Xhaka? And then I had to look again and see that it was the 5'5" Uruguayan. And I was like, that's not like you.
Yeah.
But his partner was nowhere to be seen.
Nowhere to be seen. Definitely. Nowhere to be seen. Ola.
Left him high and dry.
Mr. Grinch. What do you think about Xhaka?
Shaka was a no-show yesterday, man. I hate the Shaka. Fuck all this. I like the Shaka business. I hate the Shaka because this guy came with zero performance yesterday, and that's why his score is gonna be 0.
One time
offered nothing. Offered nothing.
Yeah. All right. Let's start off with a little bit of positivity. Let's go Ainsley Maitland-Niles. What do you think he deserved yesterday? Let's start with you, Ola.
I'll give Ainsley a 6. I thought he pushed the game. The first 15 minutes, first 20 minutes, he was pushing back the wing back, and the only positive thing that we did yesterday, it was the one that produced it. So, and that's all I can say. But he still had to do the other side of the job, which is why he's getting a 6. Obviously, he scored, but he still had to do some defending, and it was part of the cog unit of the lot that didn't do their defensive duties yesterday. So all that being said, we didn't leave there without drawing blood. In fact, we drew the first blood, and for that reason, I'll give him a 6.
Okay, Lewis.
I'm with Ola on this one. I'll give him a 6. Going to Anfield and playing out of position. Let's remind everybody, he's not a wing back. He's a central midfielder. It took him a while to adjust to playing as wing back yesterday. You could see it. He wasn't too sure on when to run. Do I drop back with which player? And once he sorted that out, he did all right, and I'm really happy for the lad to get his first goal away at Anfield. I just think because he's such a good natural footballer, he's going to become the tool of the team, where if there's a hole, he's going to be the one that fills it.
Yeah,
and it's not fair on the young man. It's not fair on him, man. I want to see him in
the utility player.
I want to see, because when he played in centre mid last season at Old Trafford, what a player! He ran Pogba ragged, and Pogba's no easy player to play against. He absolutely bossed it. I was like, rah, this little man of 19, 20, running the show like that, even though we lost the game. But he was absolutely fantastic. And sometimes I just wonder, why do we play players out of position? Like, why don't we bring somebody in that plays in that position? It's probably a lot better to do that than keep using the tool element. I don't like it. I'm not a fan of it.
All I can think of is that he's not showing something in training in that position. For two managers to think, nah, you ain't no central midfielder, you're this. Maybe it's just his size. I don't know. There's something about him that they look at him and think, nah.
Lucas Torreira is smaller than him, and they both play in the same position. So size, I don't think it's a size thing.
I don't know.
I
think it's because he's pretty. I think it's because he's quite athletic, and he's quite quick, and he's quite strong. I think it's because maybe he's a good footballer as well on the ball. I think he's just quite a strong. He's quite. I wouldn't say he's above average at anything. He's probably really good at most things, if that makes sense, in a footballing sense. So, which is why he can play multiple positions. But I totally agree with Lewis. I think he can definitely play. He should definitely play central midfield. I think he'll be. I think he's definitely one for the future for us, for definite. I thought he played well yesterday as well. Me, I'd give him a 7, to be honest. I thought he was probably one of two players that probably could come off the pitch and said they put a shift in. One of two who, let me just add, both came up through the ranks, both came up through the academy. I don't know if that's because they...
But both have been in bad form recently as well.
Both have been in very bad form, but that, for me, also shows a sign of a good footballer. That when you need to play well, when you have to play well, you do play well against the bigger teams. Because you could probably get away with playing, at 70, 80, 90% against the lesser teams. But against Liverpool, a team that's basically smashed everyone this year, every person on that pitch yesterday needed to be 100%. And I thought only two of them, Maitland Niles being one, only played at that level that we needed.
You could see, hats off to him, because he had a really, really bad game when he came on at Brighton. And you could see, like, with him, you can see he's got so much pace. Like, it's almost like he arrives on the ball just a little bit too quick. And he doesn't really take that into consideration sometimes. And he kept overrunning the ball or overpassing the ball. But I thought he settled down all right yesterday.
Yeah, I think it's because he's being moved about so much as well, Lewis. Like, he's been asked to play left back, asked to play right back, asked to play right wing back. That's a big adjustment at playing at that top level where margins are so small. You have to make fucking adjustments like in milliseconds and play you up against different players all the time. It's not easy, mate. I think hats off to him. I thought he played well. I mean, we were shit yesterday, but I thought he was one of the only shining lights that we had, to be honest.
Oh, 100% agree with that.
Agree. And I personally would give him a 6. I find it hard to give somebody a 7 on the basis that we lost so badly. But I can see what you guys, particularly Sam, is thinking in that. But he did score. He did score the goal.
You can't tell Chig works in HR, really.
Too diplomatic, man.
I just think for me, I'd give him a 6. I thought he actually worked very well. I actually disagreed with Lee yesterday. He was saying that he didn't feel he defended that well. I thought he was fine yesterday.
Yeah. Do you know what, as well? I
thought he was fine.
I think as well, as fans now, I think we've really got to get behind these young players because they've had a shit 2 or 3 years where we've been on people's backs constantly. We really need to get behind the younger players, especially who are coming up, who are supposed to be Arsenal through and through, support the club. We know we really need to get behind them. I think, to be honest.
No, you're definitely right. Definitely right.
Aaron Ramsey, I've got a feeling we'll disagree about this one. What do you guys think?
Shit, I thought he was awful. I'm giving him a 1 straight out. He was supposed to be, he wants the captain. He was the captain. He wanted all this money. What did he do? He was another one. Disappeared. Didn't do anything. Ridiculous player. I'm so glad we pulled the plug on his contract. He's not good enough. That's a fact. He was flicking the ball like he's fucking Maradona. He's not. He's a hard-working player. He's no good. And I'm soon. I think if he goes in the next 2 or 3 days, that'll be better for us.
Okay. Wow. See, that's the sound I fucking know right there.
Boy, when Ola's quiet and hasn't said nothing for like the last 5 minutes, Ola definitely agrees with everything that's being said.
I love everything what Sam said there. I just love it. He took the words right out of my mouth. But I got something to add to that. So I want to Lewis go.
Save it. I want to hear Lewis first. Lewis, give me your mark for Ramsey.
Sam, man, you stole the show again, man. Ramsey, same again, non-existent, didn't do anything, didn't act like a leader. For somebody that's captained his country, you look at all this experience that this man's had, and did he put it into practice yesterday? No. So for me, like Xhaka, same rating as Xhaka, just nothing, just offered absolutely nothing. Not the usual Aaron Ramsey we see. I think as well, this contract thing is playing on his mind now. We're getting closer to January. and you know, I think he's not looking to get himself injured. He's not putting himself about like he was, say, 3 or 4 matches ago. You know, so bye, Aaron. It's been good. Thanks for the couple of goals that you scored in the FA Cup and that stunner against Galatasaray. But if you're gonna move on, do it pretty soon, mate.
Yeah.
Wow.
Definitely.
Ola, before you comment, I'm going to surprise you guys. I didn't think he was that terrible. I actually agree with what Lee's saying in the chat room now. I'd give him a 4. I thought there were a couple of chances he had, and I was like, what the fuck, bro? And people who know me know I can't stand Aaron Ramsey. I'll be real, I can't stand him. But I didn't think he was that terrible. I saw a lot more people worse than he was. And to me, I'd give him a 4 out of 10. That's just my view. Now, I've set Ola up here because I know what he's going to say. So, Ola, take it home.
I mean, you might think he didn't play that terrible, but the service that Aubameyang got,
Nothing.
which is 0, goes to show you how shit Ramsey was yesterday. He got fuck all from Ramsey. I mean, Ramsey plays like he's got identity fucking crisis. He don't know whether he wants to be a transvestite, a lesbian, or a gay man, or straight. He's got identity fucking crisis, man. And it doesn't fit into what we want to fucking do, man. You know what I mean? Why are we gonna pay him all that money for? Why are we gonna pay him all that money? The guy doesn't know where he wants to play. You want to either play deep or you want to play as a number 10. You want to play as a late running midfield. What do you want to do, Rambo?
You know that you said that, Ola. Do you know who that reminds me of? Do you know when you're saying he doesn't know where he wants to play? Theo Blood Clot Walcott.
Yes, you know
when this man was saying, "I'm a striker." All right, then.
You don't. When we've holding on to players for too long that don't know what they want to do, that don't know what position they want to hold. You look at someone like Torreira, you know what he does for a team. You know his job. You see someone like Lacazette, and you know his job. That's where we need to be heading now. All these players that we got in and around the team that's wanting loads of money, but they don't know what they want to do. They don't know where they want to play. They've got identity problem, and we need to get them out of the club.
He's 28 years old, and we don't know what his best position is. That just
it's ridiculous.
Says it all, and it's just another one of our sort of old managers fucking wet dreams that he had, that he could get this load of calls together and, you know, get them all, and brilliant. They were going to be brilliant, but not one of them's at the club. Once he goes, not one of them, apart from obviously the King Jenkinson, not one of them is at the club, is he? And that just goes to show that how poor they've all been over the years. They really have. They've been poor. He's been poor.
So having said all of that, yeah, it gets a 1 for showing up. I mean, Aubameyang got fuck all from him yesterday, man. It was just poor around, man.
Yeah, man. I can't disagree with that, man. I cannot disagree with that. It was really poor showing from Aaron. Someone who's so experienced and played against Liverpool so many times. I think that's one of his worst performances against them that I've seen for a long time from Mr. Ramsey. Yeah. And I know people in the group chat or the chat room are probably disagreeing with what I'm saying, but if a player doesn't know what position he wants to be in and doesn't know whether he wants to stay at the club, why are we still playing him?
Thank you to Lee. You made me realise I was on mute because I moved it on. I was like, so Ola, let's start with Alex Iwobi. What mark would you give him?
I'll give him a 5. I'll give him a 5 yesterday.
Okay. Wow.
Obviously, it came in with the assist. I mean, it's hard to go past them score lines because I keep going back to the score. The score line and the way we lost. The man, you know, it's one thing losing a game, but the manner that you lose a game, because the game is a team game, and it was part of that team. In isolation of what we did going forward, first 20-30 minutes. Yeah, he set up the goal. He done a few skills. You know, he tried to provide a few moments in the box, but ultimately we still lost 5-1. And you know, I think five is generous. It's a fair score to him. Yeah, I can't say anything past 5. I'm sorry, but yeah.
For me, I thought Alex Iwobi was our best player on the pitch. I can't give him a 7 for the reasons that I couldn't give Ainsley Maitland-Niles a 7, just because the scoreline was so bad. But I thought, out of a bad bunch, I thought he was the best, and I'd give him a 6 out of 10. I thought he was the one player that kept driving the team. Every time the ball kept coming to him, his first instinct was to move forward. Was he perfect? Fuck no.
No.
Still
It was
couple
an
of
outlet. It was probably the only outlet we had.
But he was the only outlet. He was the only one that said, "Just give me the ball. Let me take on some people." And that's why I know he frustrates people. I know. I've just seen somebody say, "Oh, well, we had an okay game, but the next 4 games we'll have will be shit." Maybe, but the one thing I do get is why managers are attracted to him, because the one instinct this motherfucker has is, "Give me the ball. I'm going to go forward." Where you have someone like Guendouzi, who I like the kid, but his first instinct is always pass backwards. Pass backwards. We need a goal. I'm going to pass backwards. It frustrates the fuck out of me so badly. And he's the one player who has at least that positive instinct. And it's that positive instinct that I think, at least from his own performance, I thought really benefited him. So I'd give him a 6 out of 10. Lewis, what do you think?
Yeah, I'll go 5.5 for the fact that he got the assist. And
Are we doing 0.5s on this thing?
I did. All right, then I'll go 6 then. Like you said, Chig, he was the only positive thing that we had apart from Ainsley getting on the end of his cross. And I say this about Iwobi all the time. One of the best at carrying the ball forward from deep positions.
Yeah.
But as soon as he gets into that last third, it's almost like he's gone back. Panics. And when I saw him pick up that ball in that position and the Liverpool defenders all stood off him, I was thinking, what are you going to do here? And he took them on and he put in the perfect cross. And I was just like, why can't this man be doing this week in, week out? Like, you've just proved to all the Iwobi haters out there that you are capable of doing it. You just need to produce it week in, week out. And that's it. It's just the consistency that he needs to work on.
Yeah, agreed. Sam, what about you? Because I know you're funny when it comes to Iwobi. Were you impressed with yesterday's performance?
Do you know what, mate? Yes. And I do get funny with him because I see in him what he produced yesterday. I thought he was our best player. Again, I totally agree with what everyone said. I'll give him a 7 because I thought a bit better than Ainsley Niles, making the Niles. But for me, he just caused them problems. Every time we gave him the ball, he looked like, fuck, he's going to do something. He obviously made the assist. I thought he worked quite hard. For me as well, he must be one of the strongest players with the ball at his feet.
Oh, yeah.
He's so strong on the ball. Like, no one, players trying to tackle him and they like bounce off him. Like, for me, that's one of probably his biggest attributes, his dribbling and the way he moves forward. But, you know, if he played that well consistently every week, mate, we'd have a real player on our hands. But he's just got to work out whether or how he gets to that level week in, week out. Because that's the only problem I've got with him. He was good on Sunday. You know, if we'd have won 4-0 or if we'd have won against another team, everyone would have been going, fucking hell, Iwobi's turned the corner, brilliant. But the history of him, he'll now have 2 or 3
shit games,
games or shit games, and then he'll be really poor, and then he'll be in and out of the team. He needs to, whatever he did on Sunday or yesterday, he needs to replicate that. And if he played like that every week in, week out, mate, I don't think anyone in the world would want to not. He'd be one of the first names on the sheet, I think, because I thought he was great yesterday.
You know what I found particularly interesting? Emery went out of his way to praise Ainsley Maitland-Niles and Iwobi yesterday.
Yeah. Do you know what it was?
That did something.
Chig, you know, I've said it before as well earlier. Those two came up through the Arsenal ranks. Now, again, and is it their age as well, that they're maybe showing a little bit less fear, less fuck, we're going to go off to Liverpool and get beaten? Is it that in their heads? Is that mentality? Is it we play for Arsenal, we want to show everyone that we're the best? I don't know, but it was just interesting for me to see that the two best players on the pitch both came up through the Arsenal academy, which I just really strange that you'd find that, to be honest.
Now let's talk about Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Now, before I get marked, I just want to point out that my man had 13 touches of the ball yesterday.
14 it was.
14, sorry, and 6 of them were at the kickoff. So, Ola, let's go for Uber.
Before I go for Aubameyang, I just want to quickly say there is 173 people watching right now. Shout out to you lot, but there's only 34 likes. What you lot doing? Hit that like button, man. There's 170. You obviously like what we're doing, and that's why you've hung in and you're watching us. So push them like buttons, man. Raise up that like button. You know what I mean? Hit that like button. 174 people watching, only 30 plus likes. Come on, you lot can do better. Now, Aubameyang. 2 for Aubameyang. Not a lot of it, not through the fault of his own. It was marked out of the game. He got no service. Everywhere he went, you could just say Van Dijk was on him like glue. He had no sniff. I mean, the keeper had fuck all to do apart from picking up that ball out of his own net. So, I mean, like I said, not through any fault of his own. Like you said, he had 14 touches, and 6 of those touches, was at kickoff. It just goes to show you the type of game he had, and it's just one of those games that he's got to just cross out of his memory, and hopefully within upcoming games, we can get a better Aubameyang service for him, and we can see Aubameyang for the true striker that he really is. He's been so impressive this season, and it makes me sad to even mark him this low. But on reflection and in isolation of this game and this game alone, I'll have to go with the 2.
Okay. I'll go next. I thought he was poor yesterday. I don't know whose cereal that Lacazette has pissed in, but it's very apparent that for whatever reason, Emery rates Aubameyang's movement more than Lacazette's hard work, and that's what it comes down to. To me, I don't think Aubameyang can play without Lacazette. But here's the thing: I think Lacazette can play without Aubameyang. Mm-hmm. And that to me is the difference. And I think, yes, Aubameyang has been amazing goal scoring wise, but if you don't want to play them both, to me it's obvious you start with Lacazette. It's obvious. Just for the way he works that back line by himself alone is the reason that you start Lacazette up top by himself. If you want to start one of them up top by themselves. So for me, I give Uber a 1, and that's for just showing up to, and that's
putting on his kick and kicking it 14 times. But for me, sorry, Chig, to cut you off. For me, right, because I play up front, and every striker has something that you play to. Yeah, name me one time that we've actually played to Aubameyang's strength. Did we put any balls down the channel? No. Did we isolate him one-on-one with a defender? Not really. So it's very hard for a striker to get into the game when your midfield can't dominate possession. So so he to be fair, all right, everybody's probably thinking, it's Aubameyang, he should be able to do this and that, but it's really hard in the way that the football's played now to do what Thierry Henry does and get the ball on the halfway line and dribble past everybody now. You don't really see that in the game. It's all about pass and move, and we didn't do that very well last night. We didn't play to his strength, which is his pace. But then when you've got a centre half marking you the size of VVD, who has just as much pace as you and has way too much strength, you're already up against it. He is a class centre half, and last night just showed why we should have gone in for him when we did. You know, I feel sorry for Aubameyang. He just didn't get anything. And also, you can't miss a chance 1 yard off the line and sky it over the bar. Why he didn't go with his head, I don't know. He should have gone with his head. But even then, the goal wouldn't have stood. So it's a tough one for him. But yeah, like Ola says, just get it out of the system and take your frustration out on in the next game against Fulham.
Okay. Sam, what about you? What would you have give Aubameyang?
I'd give him. I can't give him a 1 because it wasn't really his fault and he wasn't shit. I don't think, for me, he's not got the physical attributes to play as a lone striker.
Me too.
He's not. I wouldn't say he's not strong enough, but he's just like he's more of a movement type of footballer, like Lewis said, running the channels, running in behind, movement off the ball. He comes onto the ball. He needs to play off someone or with someone up front. Completely different player to Lacazette. I think Lacazette with Aubameyang maybe on the right instead of Ramsey yesterday, or the left, or whatever, probably would have suited. He's not really his fault yesterday, but I just don't think he can play up front on his own. I just don't think he can. He's just not that type. He's just not that type of footballer. He doesn't suit that sort of. He's not like a Jamie Vardy either. You know, like all over everything and gets stuck in and flies in with challenges. You know, he's that type of, not that type of player. He's more of a player with someone. But I thought he was with what he could do. But the only thing I would say about Aubameyang, for me, he seems to need 2 or 3 chances before he can like get his range or get his his feeling of the pitch. And you know what I mean? Every game I've seen him play this year, he's needed 2 or 3 chances to bury one, but once he's had the 2 or 3 chances, you feel every chance he has, he's going to score.
Well, he didn't against Brighton. He scored that curler, that pitch of a curler on the first attempt against Brighton.
No, but he does miss a few chances.
He misses quite a lot of sitters. I agree with you on that one.
Like Thierry Henry, he'd probably be 1 chance, 1 goal type of player, but he's definitely brilliant, definitely great player, absolutely nothing. I'm not slagging him off, but just feel as if he needs a couple of chances almost every game to really sort of get himself prepared. Maybe he needs to take a few more shots before the kick off or something. I don't know, but
get a bit of warm up
practice in before in the warm up. But I just yesterday proved to me anyway that I just don't think he can play up top on his own. He definitely needs someone either like a Lacazette with him, or not saying a Giroud, but someone
you are spot on, because I was thinking what we could have done with a player like Giroud for us yesterday. I mean, just being a nuisance
to hold it up, and then you've got Lacazette, then you've got Iwobi or Aubameyang running onto it or making movements in and around.
Absolutely.
We used to slag Giroud off, but he was a fantastic option B or something different. We haven't got that different.
Speak for yourself. I never slagged off Giroud. I'm joking. I used to slag him off too.
But yeah, for me, probably a 3 maybe. But it wasn't his fault yesterday. He had no support, nothing. We didn't play to his strengths. We just we let ourselves down, but particularly we let him down with what we were doing yesterday.
Agreed. All right, we've got substitute, because I want to just get a bit more analysis on Emery. But before we come to Emery, let's just bang out just marks out of 10 for the 3 substitutes. So that's Guendouzi, that is Koscielny, and who's the other one? Lacazette. So let's just quick marks out of 10.
All right, straight quick marks. Lacazette gets a 4. Guendouzi gets a 3, and Koscielny gets a 3 for their little contribution yesterday. But let's face it, Liverpool already had the game won. They weren't going to do anything to change the game. It was more damage limitation than anything. So
else. Yeah, I agree. Lewis?
Laka gets a 3. It would have been a 4 or 5 had we got the penalty. Like, he showed lovely little feet. His feet are absolutely amazing in and around the box.
Yeah, they are. Really
It
good.
was a
Really good.
stone cold blood clot penalty. Ref looks at it and says, nah. And the only reason why I think the referee's not giving it is because Lacazette slightly moves the ball towards the edge of the area. And it's timed that just as the defenders come in. So maybe the rest thought, oh, do you know what? I think the defender's got a toe on it. Koscielny, did anyone notice that this man went on some mad nosebleed run in that second half?
Yeah.
I was thinking to myself, mate, don't do your Achilles in again. Like, you're a centre back. You shouldn't be that high up the field. And the man put in a cross. I'm like, what? Like, what's happened here? We're not in the school playground, where, the man that stay at the back for like the whole entire game until like the last 2 minutes before break. And they're like, right, give me the ball. I'm going to go on this mazy run. So for that, he gets a 2. And Guendouzi didn't really do anything, so he gets a 1.
Okay. Sam, what about you?
I think I'd give Guendouzi sort of a 2 or 3. To be honest, he played like a bit of a headless chicken yesterday. Backwards, sideways, tried to go forward, lost the ball a few times, just poor. Koscielny, I didn't even know he was on the pitch till 55, 60 minutes. I didn't even realise. So again, I'll be going down the route. You get a 2 or a 3. He's gone as well. FYI, he's got to go. Finished. No good. Finished.
Yeah.
And then Lacazette, probably give him maybe a 4, something like that. And that definitely was a penalty on him. If they're getting 2 penalties for their shit, we should have definitely had a penalty our end.
Yeah, you got a feeling that at the Emirates, he would have given that.
Yeah. Well, it was a penalty, 100%. He clipped him. It was penalty. Yeah. But yeah, bang average.
Quickly for me, Guendouzi a 2. It is what it is. Koscielny a 2. Again, it is what it is. And I think it's self-explanatory. And then Lacazette, I'm gutted for him that he didn't have longer than 15 minutes to do what he needed to do. But even in that 15 minutes, I noticed him more than I noticed Uber. So for that reason, a 4 out of 10. And last but not least, before we wrap things up today, Emery. So now we're starting to hear what I feel, in my opinion, is a lot of nonsense chants like Emery out. And my feeling on this is always, listen, any manager that came in after the previous manager's tenure was always going to have a difficult task, especially when 85% of the team is the previous manager's team. And that previous manager's team finished 6th. It's going to take time to flush it out, flush out stupid habits, and quite honestly, flush out the players that aren't good enough. And to scream Emery out because we got piped against Liverpool. What? Did you think that he was going to wave a magic wand and we weren't going to get piped by a team who are complete? Klopp should be the shining example for all of those people. Look at what Liverpool are doing now. 3 seasons ago, Klopp came in. It was utter shit. And they invested, and slowly but surely, they flushed out all the crap that was there. The only one that's still there that I still don't think is good enough is Lovren. But other than that, they flushed out all the people that ain't good enough, and then they just added balance to the team. And now they look ready. Quite frankly, in my opinion, they're probably going to go on and kick on and win the league. And that, to me, is how I want us to give Emery time to be able to create that. What do you guys think?
I'm the same with you all day freaking long. All day long, I've been arguing the same point as you, Chig, on Twitter, on Facebook. Emery. All right, Emery got it slightly wrong yesterday, right? And he deserves a little bit of criticism. But at the end of the day, the previous manager built the club in the way that he saw fit, right? And he's had 22 years to do it. Emery's come in and he's changed the mentality of the team to a point, right? And although we did do that 22 unbeaten run, which, you know, I was pretty amazed that we actually went 22 games unbeaten. He was never, ever, ever going to come in and change us to be title contenders in 6 months. When people say Emery out, do they not understand? Do they know why they're saying Emery out? I don't think they do. I think they're just reacting off of the results. And I think people just need to open their eyes and look at the bigger picture here. You know, we're in the same position as what Liverpool were in 4 or 5 years ago. And it's going to take a lot of investment to get rid of that deadwood. I'm telling you this now. And if we give this man time, I'm pretty sure that we'll end up winning something way before Tottenham do. And they're 3-4 years up the road from us.
And let me just add this, because Nathaniel James has been commenting on the chat room saying, oh, I won't respond to him, and he's been very critical of Emery in the chat room. And my point is this. Don't get it twisted. Emery made some mistakes yesterday. He did. But and it is ultimately his responsibility for the team not to get piped, no matter how much, no matter who goes out on that pitch. Mm-hmm. I agree. Criticize Emery. I don't have an issue with that. It's where you go from criticizing Emery to demanding the man leaves because of what? He's trying to work miracles with a piece of shit. That's where I have an issue. To me, if I had to mark Emery, I'd give him a 3 out of 10 yesterday. But that doesn't mean to say that I demand that he goes. I understand that they're mitigating circumstances. I understand that he's working with a piece of shit. I am criticizing. I am critical of certain decisions, like playing Xhaka at central defense, like continuously playing Lichtsteiner where you see it's not working, like not Stout and Lacazette, where to me he's the better all-round player than Aubameyang is. I have criticisms of him. That is not what I'm talking about. But it's the people that are on Twitter that are demanding that Emery leave. What the fuck for? What for?
He's not done anything to be thrown out. Like, I just don't get it.
He's not an Arsenal fan. Anyone who says that for me isn't an Arsenal fan. You can't say shit like that. It's ridiculous.
And to confirm, because he's saying, oh, no, I never said I wanted Emery out. I never said you said that you wanted Emery out.
There's people.
I'm saying that I can see you in the chat room and you've been very critical of Emery. So let me respond and say that, don't get it twisted, I'm also critical of decisions Emery has made. But I'm talking about people, not you, people who are saying Emery out. Just to confirm. Flipping out. Anyway, guys, Sam, what's your feeling on Emery? Like, I obviously haven't really spoken too much about Emery. Like, are you happy with his job, the job that he's doing overall?
I think he's doing a great job. I think whoever was going to come in was going to have probably the biggest job in football to revitalise, to re-energise, to get the club back up to where they need to be. Let me tell you something. The previous manager, the last 2 years, particularly the last year, I think he did more damage to the long term and how far we were going to get ahead and how quickly we were going to get ahead than he did in the previous fucking 10. Those last 2 years, when real people really turned on him, he should have gone when we won that first FA Cup. That really we put us back probably 2 or 3 years to where we are right now, because he still had total control for that period. He still went out and did whatever he wanted, and no one said nothing to him. We put everything in place to make sure that never happens again. I think we've got a fantastic manager, a winner, a proven winner. He's won wherever he's been. He's young enough to stay with us for a longish time. I think he's a good manager, but I just think you can't polish a turd. We've got some real shit. It's true. We've got some players, some issues with the older players. We've got some issues with the superstars. We've got some issues with players that are bang average, that have probably been with us too long. We've got recruitment issues where we didn't pick up Van Dijk for fucking whatever we should have, because of that old idiot said he was too nonchalant with his play. You know, we've had massive issues, and it's not going to, you can't turn the Titanic round in a circle overnight. It takes time. And I think, fuck me. I think I put something out on Twitter yesterday or the day before. We gave the previous manager fucking 12, 14 years before everyone started to turn on him, saying he really wanted him out. We've got to give the manager time. I think what he's done has been brilliant, but now I think it's down to the club to back him and to back the scouts and everyone else to pick up the players we need and where we all want to be. Because, at the end of the day, we're all paying fucking Ferrari prices to go and watch this team play week in and week out. We all buy new kits and we do stuff like this because we love the club and whatever. I think the club need to really look at it now and give something back and start investing, because without investment, it's going to be a fucking long, long road back if we're going to do it through youth and through, signings where we're going to give them a few years to get up to the level required. So we've got to back the manager on it. It's as simple as that, and I do, and I will not have anyone slag him off. Anyone slags him off, they're not an Arsenal fan, and that is what I believe.
Yeah, agreed. And Ola, do you want to have the final say on Emery and all those people saying Emery out?
I say fuck turning the Titanic around. Just sink the Titanic and get a new blood clear boat. How about that? Emery has been fantastic since he came in, and we always knew he had a hell of a job on his hands. But at the same time, for me, his honeymoon period was over at Southampton. That was the end of his honeymoon period. He opened himself up for criticism and questioning because of some of his decisions, and I think it's fair to criticize and question some of them decisions, like you've outlined earlier on, leaving Lacazette on the bench. A couple of the times where maybe he could have started Ozil and he could have started Ramsey and then he started Ozil after the shenanigans that's been going on back and forth with the front spasm, back spasm, top lip spasm, all kinds of spasm. The guy literally turned into a full spasm himself, and it's got to the point now where people are dropping like flies around him. You can't hold that against him. So there's mitigating circumstances as well that's leading to some of these decisions. Everything is a shit show at the moment, and you're right, Sam. You say you can't polish a turd, but at the same time, there's ways of moving it around to try and make it look good, and he did that for 22 games. It did that for 22 games.
Just want to say something, Ollie, just very quickly. Of all these issues we've got with Ozil, Ramsey, and fucking players he's not keen on.
Yeah.
Where in the past our previous manager would try with them and try.
Show patience. Yeah.
Let's fucking make a decision. It's January. We need to make decisions on these players. He's had 6 months with them now. He must know if he thinks they're going to be able to be good enough or to fit into the system.
Oh yeah, I think he already knows.
Me too.
But I don't want it to drag on like Ramsey. If we know we're going, if he knows he's going, right, either sell him in January or never play him in the squad ever again. I don't want him in the team.
It will be down to the board for that, because if they're having to pay him the wages, they will demand. Like they do with players like Neymar, Messi, and stuff like that, because it's on that rack of wages with those guys and their manager. These guys are bigger than the manager. It's a shame, but that's the reality of things. And whoever's paying the wages from the top would demand the manager and override and say, "Look, you got to play that guy. You can't not play him if he's in your team. If you can't sell him and he's in the club, you have to play him. You got to find a way to play him. He's in a tough situation. He's in a tough spot.
He is in a tough spot, but I don't want us to rattle on with Mesut Ozil if he knows he's going to be a bit part player. I'd rather get rid of him. He's no good for morale. He's no good for this, no good for that. And also, I don't think what's helped. He's had some real bad injuries. He's had injuries to players at certain times, key times. Bellerin's out.
Yeah.
He's had
Welbeck, Rob Holding.
Welbeck's out. But all these
Mkhitaryan.
Welbeck, Mkhitaryan, all these. I mean, I hate Mkhitaryan, by the way. I think he's shit, and I want him to go. But that's another story. I just think players, we need to make decisions with certain players and how we're going to play. And if they're not going to happen, I don't want it to drag on. If we're going to get rid of them or they're not good enough, we need to make decisions between now and the summer. And we're going to have a massive clear out. We've got to do it, and we've got to make harsh decisions quickly.
Oh, how much do you think Kroenke is? We got to stop saying the board now, because there's no fucking board. Let's be honest. There's only fucking Kroenke. He's the 100% owner of the club now. And even thinking about that just pisses me the fuck off. But right now, he's the one that is the go-to guy. And is he going to put the money down? Is he going to put down 150, 200 million to have this overhaul over January and summer?
Do you know what? People have been like, oh, Kroenke don't put his hand in his pocket. You don't do this. You don't do that. He spent 60 million on fucking Aubameyang. What was the other massive signing he made? 35 million. I know he doesn't spend a lot of money in one big go, but I think we've got to, at some point, we've got to bite the bullet and say, we've got to do it.
So here's the thing, and that's the final thing I kind of wanted to kind of wrap up with, because Cash was in the chat room saying, talk about Stan. For me, my view on Stan is very simple. I don't really feel like, I don't trust him. I actually agree with what Claude is saying. I think Emery is doing a fine job. I don't necessarily think he's doing a brilliant job or anything like that. I think he's doing fine. But to me, I want to see what he does with his own team. I want to see Stan prove that he is a good owner by supporting his new manager. I know people say, oh, but he bought Aubameyang. He bought these people, whether you believe it or not, he bought these people under the previous manager's regime. One thing is for certain, Emery had no say on those signings. I want to see what he can do with his own players. Now, if that's Banega, so be it. If that's flipping Cahill, as much as I will be upset if it is Cahill, so be it. I want to be able to see what Emery does with his own team, so that then in 18 months' time, if we're still having this conversation about us breaking into the top 4 and struggling, then I can say, oh, fuck Emery. You know?
Yeah, then you can start doing the hashtag Emery out and all that thing.
It's hard to do this Emery out now when you don't know.
Do you know what, right? Everybody thinks that this is a game of FIFA where you can just hit the reset button and everything's going to be hanky-dory. And it's really and truly, it's not. It really ain't. You know, to undo what the previous manager's philosophy, it takes about 18 months anyway.
Yeah.
So we have to give him 18 months minimum.
Yeah. Do you know, Lewis, you know Emery's only got a 2-year contract?
Yes, I do know.
He's only got a 2-year contract. So that means at the end of this year, they're either going to have to start discussing a new one or make plans to get another manager in. So I think a lot's determined on if we get to the Champions League via 4th place or via the Europa League, winning the Europa League. I don't know. I'm just guessing. This is just what I've sort of surmised, that if he gets us into the Champions League, either route, there's going to be like an automatic another 3 years on top of his.
Well, so true,
which is fair enough. Do you know what I'm saying?
Because it doesn't really have these free windows that everybody keep banding about. That he's got free windows.
Got free windows.
Yeah, he ain't got free windows
now in January. No, January and
the summer. He's only got 2.
I think if we don't go for it now, as I said, like the club are obviously going to want to keep him. I think he's made a good impression. I think he's going to be great. We need to back him. We need to back him financially, etc., etc. But I honestly think we've got to go for it now, because the players are going to start like they did with Wenger. A year contract means nothing. He can start talking to anyone realistically in the summer about moving. Emery could. I don't know why we gave him a 2-year contract, knowing it's going to take 2 or 3 years to sort this shit out. That was a bizarre decision in itself.
Well, so funny enough, people believe that Emery is a stopgap manager. On that basis,
who else is coming in? That's what I want to know. If he's a stopgap, who is there that we can actually get that's actually going to take this job on?
All the best managers in the world are at the top clubs now. There's not one that isn't working, or the one that isn't, fuck me, he's going to get sacked because he's not doing as good a job as he could. The only way we're going to do it is we're going to have to go Nick, Guardiola, never going to happen. Klopp, never going to happen. You know, what's the guy at Hoffenheim or one of the German teams with absolutely flying? You know,
the one that was at RB Leipzig or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Where you know, they're the only type of managers that we could possibly go for, because we're not going to be able to nick the manager from Liverpool, Man City, fucking Bayern Munich, anyone like that, because we're not there. We're not there at that level at the minute. We've got to look at the level below. The only way we're going to get there quickly is by spending money, and that falls back to the owner.
Yeah, agreed.
All I
All right,
know.
guys.
Oh, sorry, Chig. All I know,
So,
sorry, quickly, is this January. If
Yeah, it's
Kroenke
massive.
does, if
it's
it's
so
huge
key.
for us, and
Yeah.
if
So key.
Kroenke doesn't come with the money to back Emery, all hell's gonna break loose. I
Yeah.
can already see 3 weeks into the future. If he hasn't done it, I can already hear the moaning. Oh, we're not. Da, da, da. He hasn't done this. He's just used the money for that. So for me, it's not a little bit. A little bit of pressure on Emery to bring in the right people, but absolutely a huge one for Kroenke to actually bridge the gap between himself and the fans. Because if
Yeah.
he does back the manager fully, then people start saying, "Do you know what? This Kroenke man, he's actually looking at the club." I think it's more likely to be Josh that will
Yeah.
oversee it
Yeah.
than it is Stan himself. So, Josh, if you are listening, please back the man now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Can I just
back him.
say quickly as well before we go, one final thing. On this Kroenke thing, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt till I've been proved otherwise. But all his teams in America, by the way, are all either at the top of their leagues, winning, or doing very, very well. Denver Nuggets,
Yeah.
absolutely flying. Los Angeles Rams, I think they're
Yeah.
top of their group. And
He heavily invested in the
all
Rams
of them.
season.
Oh,
Just this close season, he heavily invested in them.
yeah, all the teams, they've all got brilliant young managers. They've all got really good up and coming players with a couple of superstars thrown into the mix. So, let's not slag him off yet. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. If he puts his hand in his pocket, it's a massive month. It's a massive. Next two transfer windows are absolutely huge for us, I think.
100%.
Huge.
100%. 100%. All right. I agree with that. Thank you, guys. That was a really fun, long but fun show. So thank you guys for joining.
No,
I
thank you for
hope you
having
guys.
us.
Yeah, thanks, Shig, man.
Yeah.
Thank
Been
you
fun.
to everybody in
Pleasure.
the chat room. There's been consistently at least 160 people with us. Pretty impressive when you consider that Tom's show is currently on. So when you finish with us, go head over to the Gooner Talk and do check out the show. Always a brilliant show. I think he has Drew and another
Michael.
writer.
We've got Michael on there.
Yeah. So
Big up to TC.
Go check out the Gooner Talk. I'll be checking it out once I've finished kind of uploading and editing and doing my thing on here. Before we go, let the boys tell you where they can find you. So first off, Ola, let the people know where they can find you.
Yeah, man. You can find me on Twitter, Black Scorpion Free. It'll be in the description below. Instagram, same thing, Black Scorpion Free. That's my handle on there. Check man out, and we'll engage on most of the sports related stuff you want to talk about. That's where you can hit me up.
Okay. And Lewis, let the people know where they can find you.
So if you want to find me on Twitter, it's LEW41986. That's LEW41986.
So
And
many numbers on your thing.
well,
It's
when
like
I
giving
first
out
made
phone
it,
numbers,
when I first made it, I really didn't use Twitter, so it was the first thing that kind of popped into my head. I'm thinking of actually trying to shorten that down. Instagram is LOUIEGRAM04.
Okay. And Big Sam, he's returned to Twitter.
Yeah, I've been blocked that many times. I can't actually remember my Twitter handle.
The original Twitter troll.
It's Hero of Football. Hero of Football.
There you go. And if you're listening live, give me a minute. I'll put especially Lewis's. I'm gonna have to look that one up. I'll put everybody's link in the description below. Hit that subscribe button. Crush that like button for me. I'll be back tomorrow actually to review the Fulham game. To preview it, then review it, and then it's Blackpool. It's non-stop for us at the moment. So
busy time of the year, man.
Busy time.
Also, a big shout out to Unique. He donated to the show, which was always a nice surprise.
Unique, big up.
Yeah.
Thank you, Unique. I appreciate it. Much love, brother. And that's it from us. So thank you to everybody in the chat room. Big shout out to Colin and Claude that are also in the chat room. And everybody in the chat room. The usuals. Archie, Marbles TV, everybody.
Stephen Gilchrist, Emily. You don't know yourself, man.
Emily, yeah, there you go. So everybody in the chat room. I was supposed to have Claude on today, but he only picked up my message very late. So I'll have Claude on at some point very, very soon with the boys. All right? All right, people. I'm out of here. Take care. Peace.
Peace.